Why do people always keep saying that Adam and Eve ate the apple? I mean, maybe not everybody, but I do hear a lot of people talk about how Adam and Eve ate the apple. Did they really eat the apple? Because in the Bible, I don't think it mentions about the apple. Jesus, or not, well, not technically Jesus, but God, when He created Eden, He created a whole bunch of trees for them to eat from. But also, He said, don't eat from this one tree, which is known as the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And that is the fruit that they ate from. I mean, it's a whole different thing to talk about how God has given them so many options and it was just one thing that He said not to do. That's a whole other conversation, maybe for some other time. But going back to the whole apple thing, by reducing it to just an apple, I feel like we're losing the meaning of what they did. What they did was eat from a tree, eat from the fruit of a tree that gives you the knowledge of good and evil. The knowledge of good and evil seems so like, oh, such a good thing. Like, don't we all want knowledge of good and evil? But funny enough, the knowledge of good and evil could be the antithesis of trusting in God. Because when we know what is good and evil, or when we think we know what is good and evil, we uh, we trust in our judgment more than trusting in God in that area. So what they basically did is instead of trusting in God, they are like, hey, we can be like God when they actually are like God. But then they thought that them knowing good and evil is what's gonna make them like God. And so for me, I think it's not so much about the fruit. It's like what they the why behind that, right? Why did God say not to eat it? Why did they choose to eat it? And also, why do we just keep calling it an apple? You might be thinking, okay, so what? What's a big deal? Apple, the fruit of knowledge and good and evil. But the more we keep referring to it as an apple, we're reducing the, I feel like we're reducing the, what would he say, the importance or the significance of the disobedience or the I don't know the right word for it, but we're reducing what they did by just calling it an apple. Because every time we call an apple, we don't think about what they actually did is to lean on their own understanding. Oh, Proverbs 3:5. Like literally everybody kind of like quotes that. Like a lot of people quote that verse, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. What is our own understanding? Our own understanding is our ability to uh, or our knowledge of what is good and what is evil, right? And I feel like before that, they did have knowledge of what is good. They didn't have knowledge of what is evil because we don't really need to. They've experienced God, so I'm sure they know who God is. They've been doing life with Him. So, yeah, the knowledge of good was not enough. They wanted knowledge of good and evil. So they ate the fruit, not the apple, the fruit. These are the things that I think about. Yes, I do.